Yes, looks wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, today I'm going to talk about using movies and role plays to improve EFL Pragmatic Competence. Okay, Muhammad already introduced me, so no need to reintroduce myself. Okay. For the agenda today, I'm going to talk about what is the pragmatic competence and why it's important, problems that hinder teachers from teaching pragmatic competence, and learners, of course, they are pragmatically poor. Also ways to implement movies in EFL teaching and learning processes using role plays as speaking activities, and some online websites for role plays. So I hope you find this presentation informative and fruitful, inshallah. So let's start with this question. Have you ever had a student look at you like this? Okay. And I need to see your answers in the chat box. And why do you think we have a student like this, who is looking at us like this? What are the reasons for this? Instructions weren't clear. Okay, they are confused. Okay. Yeah, what's causing the confusion here? So you think that, is it the language the teacher is using? Okay, some maybe difficult vocab for them, or the grammatical rules are somehow elevated for their students' levels. Unfamiliarity with the topics, ICQs confused them. Yeah, sure. What about the meaning itself? What about the meaning, or the inner or the intended meaning itself? Do they get the intended meaning of the teacher? They don't understand. Okay. Yeah, they didn't know why they had to do a certain task. Very good. Okay. And so maybe if we're going to talk about vocabulary, maybe the vocabulary are somehow elevated. Maybe the grammatical tenses are somehow confused for them. And more or less, the meaning itself is not clear. Okay. Yeah, maybe the teacher's accent also. Okay. Thank you. So what is pragmatic competence? It's the ability to use language appropriately in context, according to the situation. So here we've got like three premises that determine a pragmatic competence to be successful, or to make our students pragmatically competent. Okay, to use the language according to the situation, according to the relation between the speakers, and how the words are said. Okay, the way the words are said. So these three premises are determining to be pragmatically competent or incompetent. It's all about the intended message. Why is it important? Because it revolves around appropriateness, as you can see. Okay, and when I get the meaning from the speaker, I will be able to respond directly to his message, and this will make a successful and meaningful communication between us. So there is no communication breakdowns. Otherwise, there will be communication breakdown, or we call it pragmatic failure. So pragmatic failure here, like this picture. Okay, are you even listening to me? And what did you say? Oh, so there is a clash in communication. There is a clash in interaction here. So pragmatic failure is the inability to understand what is meant from what is said. You don't get the message clearly. That's why you cannot respond appropriately to it. We've got some reasons actually related to teaching and to the learners. So the first one is learners' insufficient pragmatic knowledge. It leads to they are very, all the time, my students are comparing Arabic to English all the time, especially when there are some items that are not there in Arabic, like, for example, the present perfect tense is not actually evident in Arabic. That's why they find it so confusing for them to understand it. Also, question tags, somehow they are comparing it. So here the comparison they're making between the two languages, their L1 and L2, result in applying the norms of L1 in L2, and this will lead to a communication breakdown. Sometimes they are responding literally to the interlocutor words, okay? They just get the surface meaning, not the intended or the implied meaning. And this also causes a communication breakdown. We've got some problems or factors related to teachers and to learners as well that lead to pragmatic poverty. First of all, and here I'm talking about teachers in Egypt because I'm one of them, okay? And I've been researching this in Egypt. First of all, here, the absence of pragmatic instruction in EFL classrooms. Teachers, maybe they're not exposed to teaching pragmatics, or they are just focusing on teaching the linguistic parts of the language, such as vocabulary and grammar, leaving its cultural norms, which are very important. This is because their lack of training. And when we're talking about pragmatics, we are talking about speaking mainly, okay? How to make like communication interaction between interlocutors. And for their lack of training in teaching speaking, they maybe get to use easy topics for their speaking activities, and they are somehow spoiling the language for their learners. Spoiling the language, so the learners, yeah, I cannot be exposed to other varieties and other variables for speaking topics. The second one is the scarcity of using interactive teaching methods. They are using teacher-centered classroom. Okay, the teacher is in the front of the classroom. She is dominating the class, and learners become passive listeners. They mainly, rely on textbooks, on outdated activities, not relying on collaborative activities that will show interaction and will appeal to their pragmatic abilities. Of course, this will lead to learners' disengagement and low achievement because there's no room for students to practice the language outside the classroom walls. Students become very confined within the classroom walls to practice the language. And even this, they've got limited opportunities to produce their output. Why? Because there is a discrepancy between the teacher's talking time, teacher is talking all the time, she's dominating the floor, and students' talking time. That's why we need to make a balance between them, or even we need to give our students more time to talk and to express themselves. Also, we've got the dominance of high-skilled students, which discourages the shy ones from talking and speaking up. Also, as I said, because of the lack of training, we've got authentic interactions with authentic audiences are generally missing. Why? Because students don't have any other audiences but their teachers or their peers. A solution for this is using movies. Why movies in specific? Because they are audio-visual tool that is appeal to all students' learning styles. So if we're talking about the learning styles, we'll feel it's an audio and visual tool. We've got a script which appeal to the analytical type, and also we've got some motion in the movies which appeal to the kinesthetic type. The language is used in movies is contextualized. So we're not only get like bits and parcels of the language, okay? No, it's not like this. We've got a situation, we've got characters, we've got a dialogue or conversation between them. So the language is vivid. This will help students not only to depict the general meaning of the utterances, but also the intended meaning of the speakers. And you can, by using movies, you can teach any skill of the language and any aspect of the language. So if I want to talk about, for example, I'm teaching business English, and I will get an interview from a movie, for example. So the interview is vivid, okay? If I want to teach a certain grammatical rule, like the past simple. So I will be able to get a conversation from a movie or a movie clip that will make it vivid for students to understand the past simple tense. So whenever you want to teach anything, you can teach it through movies. And of course, they are enjoyable to all learners at all ages, because they are used as routine breakers. So other than using the textbooks, okay, or the smart board or the whiteboard, okay, we can use movies as routine breakers. How to implement movies? First of all, we can use the movie script, and I use this with my low levels, okay, elementary or pre-elementary levels. Just to get the script, make them read it, okay, highlight any vocabulary that are difficult for them, okay, and this will boost reading and vocabulary. We have to treat movies as if we're treating the listening, as if we are teaching them the listening skill, okay? There has to be some activities related to the movie they're seeing. So we design pre, while, and post activities. Why? Because we are appealing to their critical thinking. We want them to be creative. We can add some reflexive questions, okay, to discuss in pairs or in groups, or even we discuss it as a whole class feedback. And finally, after they see the movie, they can do a role play situation related to the one that is in the movie, because this will be used as their freer practice to improve their speaking skills and to improve fluency as well. Okay, this is one of the movie clips that I use in my classroom and to teach them refusals. Okay, so
it's too late tonight. We can take a plunge in the swimming pool. I have to get used to it all. I must go to bed. All right. Happy to do it. I'm going to call Daisy and invite her to tea. That's all right. What day would suit you? What day would suit you? I don't want to put you in any trouble. Oh, day after tomorrow, all right? Day after tomorrow. Well, I'd want to get the grass cut. Well, look here, well, you don't make a bunch of money, do you? Not really. If you'll forgive me. You see, I happen to run a little business on the side, a sort of sideline. I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right? You do sell bonds, don't you, Explore? Trying to. Right. Well, it happens to be a rather confidential sort of thing, but you might make a nice bit of money on the side. No, thank you. I have my hands full. Well, you wouldn't have to do any business with Wolfsheim, I assure you. It's a favor, Jay. Just a favor. Yes. Happy to do it. Favor? Yes. Well, good night.
Good night.
Okay, so this is a movie clip from The Great Gatsby. These are some reflective questions that I gave to my students, okay, to discuss in pairs or in groups. And then we make a whole class feedback on them. Okay. And here, this is a role play situation related to the movie. So actually it's different, yeah, but it's because I was focusing on teaching them how to refuse an invitation. This one was formal, but here this one is informal. Look here, student A is the Canadian friend and student B will refuse then reverse the roles. And here I will tell you in a minute why do we have to reverse the roles. These are some movie activities that I myself use with my students. Okay, the one is the prediction game. In groups, they are watching a movie scene or a movie trailer, and they're trying to predict the story and to predict what happens next. Okay, the incident and the finale. The team that comes up with the closest story wins. Okay, so we make it a fun activity, okay, and also in terms of a competition between students, they like it the most. The second one is guess the dialogue. Okay, I play the movie clip but muted, and they are trying to guess the theme first. Okay, what they're talking about, the two characters, what they are talking about. Is it a business conference or a business meeting, or it's a marriage proposal, or what? Okay, and then I play it for the second time, muted also, and they try to guess the dialogue between the characters. On the third time, we try to see who got the closest dialogue related to the movie. Guess My Movie is one of the things that I like the most because I try to insert writing to make them write. Okay, I divide in the class in pairs and each student choose a movie he likes the most. Okay, and they write like an outline for the characters, the main plot, and the setting. And then they are describing it in front of the class or to their partner. Then the partner or the rest of the class, they are trying to guess which movie is this, which is really, really funny. And and here we've got the movie review, which is also writing a movie critique or a movie review. Okay, for this can be done by asking students, okay, to write a review about the best movie. And for higher levels, I believe that we try to make it more challenging by adding the points of strength and the points of weakness inside the movie. Role plays. Role plays are the second item that I really like the most. Okay. Why? Because they are natural way to practice the English outside the classroom, and they allow students, especially the shy ones, to speak up. They also give the teacher the opportunity to correct their students' mistakes, and they boost creativity as the movies, okay? And they also make them speak a lot. They try to control the language, so it boosts fluency. It appeals to all learning styles and ages also, and they're good means to grasp the vocabulary, especially for higher levels, okay? But to implement role plays correctly in your classrooms, you need to have clear instructions and clear communicative outcome, why they are doing the role plays. Involve students in designing the materials, okay? Like, for example, it's not only me who is getting the materials for the role plays. I can ask my students to get their materials, their favorite books, okay, favorite magazines, stories, okay, and they can do it in a form of a role play, like for example, a dialogue between a journalist and a writer, or two actors speaking together, or a presenter and a singer. Okay. The idea of the reversing the roles. Why? Because I appeal to my students' creative abilities. I want them to make critical thinking when they are using the language. So I encourage them to reverse the roles and to get other ideas and different ideas from what is being said. This is a role play for a job interview for elementary students. So here, as you can see, this is the situation itself. And here, these are the tips because they are elementary students. So I give them start by introducing yourself, ask blah, 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 promise a pleasant job. So I give them steps, but they are free to do whatever they want after that. So I just need like a design, a frame for the role play, and they're free to do whatever they want. Another one here is the situational talk. Okay, and here is the script. And here we've got what the role plays they're doing. Okay, and then reverse the roles. These are some online websites for role plays. The word wall is one of the most interesting websites used for anything. Okay, if you want to teach anything, you can use the word wall. And here we've got scenarios for role plays for students to do in classroom. So I use it online and face-to-face classrooms. Also, the Flipgrid here, if you want to make your role plays outside the classroom, okay, or as a homework or as an assignment, they can do this by recording their role plays and they upload it on Flipgrid. Thank you so much. I hope you find this presentation fruitful and it adds to your expertise. Thank you so much. And I'd like to hear if you like this presentation or not, okay, your feedback. So this is my email. And also this is like a small questionnaire, okay, related to my presentation. Thank you so much.